Peace. Quick left. Think fast. There's another step to your spirituality that a lot of people either think is like a too much of a monkish monastery type of lifestyle or whatever. But sadly so, people don't understand, like, all right, first to start off by being a vegetarian and not harming, those animals, like, the animals that you used to eat. But also it's about not harming the animals that you don't eat either, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I'm thinking about insects and bugs and things of this nature. Because as I'm, as always, like I always seen this, but as I raise my vibration, and then I seen it more since I've been working with petrified wood. Matter of fact, I made a joke earlier where they had like a stag beetle that just kept flying around me like I was his landing spot, like, and picture it with all this, with all this natural land around me and outside. I'm like, it could easily go to a flower or something that's more natural, but it just kept flying around me. But I realized, like, all right, after that Lionsgate connection with nature and all this, like, I'm basically probably, I bug corn, I was like, I'm basically giving off the energy of a tree, you know what I'm saying, in essence. But you got to realize, though, the bugs, the insects, you got to treat them with the same respect, you know what I'm saying? And on a level, too, because there's a reality of the situation where, if an insect crawls on a place on you where it's not supposed to be, all right, then he kind of asking for it. That's overstood. As above, so below. Same thing with humans. If you playing around a volcano, you know what I'm saying, then you kind of playing with fire, literally and figuratively. So if you fall in it or whatever the case may be, that's just taking one for the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, like, the earth not trying to harm you, you know what I'm saying, in essence. But if you go in places where you shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, then you might get harmed. So as above, so below, same way the earth treats us with, like, with all these, like, not going where waves, like, waves are like over 50 feet, you know what I'm saying, and you going out there like, all right, you asking for it, So if a fly or animal, trying to go up your nose or something like that, of course, you're gonna try to get it out. I ain't saying like, oh yeah, you gotta be one with bugs to where you just letting them crawl in and out your eyes, and like, nah, in which they wouldn't really do that in essence unless you feared it, like, unless you was fearful of that situation, then it would happen. But you gotta have that connection with all animals. Think about if you was walking to the stove or going about your day and a big hand came out the sky and smashed you, like your life would just end in that instant. And you was just doing your thing. No bad karma, no nothing. You just was living. And then a hand come out of nowhere and just smash you, you know what I'm saying? Or you, like, say for instance, you living in your house and somebody come and step on your house. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize, like, we all interconnected, so eventually. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because this is like not say unspoken of, but in most cases, most people who talk about spirituality, they don't bring up that level to it, dealing with the insects. But it's also something, again, like, you don't have to let a bug crawl on your food. You don't have to let a bug crawl up your nose. But you also don't have to smash a bug just because you see it. Just because it's in your face. You just got to get away from that egotistical mind frame of being scared of everything that's different. I know people that do that. Well, yeah, that's humans. Yeah, they scared of difference. Whether it's color of skin, whether it's you got 4 or 5 legs and 5 eyes and I don't, but, that's the ego being scared of something. And matter of fact, and then being in the mind frame of habit where you don't even question why you're killing it. In essence, you just scared. The bug never bit you before. Like, they got so many bugs that never bit people, but yet people still kill them regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least wait to, to see if the bug is dangerous or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I say wait to see if it's dangerous on that level, like a poisonous, but like, at least get bit by it first. It's almost like not trying a food, but saying the food nasty before you try it. It's like, oh, I'm scared of them type of bugs. I'm scared. Have you ever, dealt with one of them bugs? Are you bit? Well, no, but But then why are you scared? And then there's another thing too, cause matter of fact, I was clowning with my brethren, you know, with the spiders and stuff, in which I think we all kind of somewhat, you know, spiders, just that idea of black widows and them having webs and being, you know, it could, you know, that could be hard to get over, but you know, like I was telling him, you know, it's like, well, all these bugs and insects is all over at all times, so if they wanted to bite us or do us harm or kill us, you know what I'm saying, then they would do that. And then two, even on a higher level, this is dealing with your source energy, you know what I'm saying? So these bugs and insects only mess with you as much as you fear them and as much as you're not connected to them. Then that's, you know, and then that's how much trouble they'll give to you. And then two, before I end this, came across the sister from, I made a video a while back on how I met Isis on a bus ride. And matter of fact, lately, every day been like a DMT trip as far as synchronicity. Like, man, you know, it's so beautiful, but, you know, it's just like, soon this thoughts kind of pass, like 30 minutes later it's coming into play. But she came and she dropped some nice insight, you know, and it was some insight that I never came across before, in essence. But she basically was talking about how, you know, nature, but more in essence the trees are like the nervous system of this body. And then you think about it, as above so below. When you look at your actual nerves in your body, they branch out. I did a video with Adam and Eve talking about the Garden of Eden. You know, it's the nerves within the sexual area, and then you got the nerves around the pineal, you know what I'm saying? But they're like tree, you know, the tree of life, tree of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And they look like the nervous system. But basically she was saying, like, yes, the trees are, you know, the nervous system for Earth. And as humans, we are like the immune system, you know, moving around, you know, transferring information, you know, basically like all the things that work in your immune system, moving around, like red blood cells transferring oxygen this way, all it, you know, we are the immune system. And then the trees are the nervous system. And two, she had made a point about how, like, you know, you download the information within your area, you know, from eating the fruit. Like the picture of the tree is like a neuron receptor, and the fruits are like, you know, like the information that we take in, you know what I'm saying? And then we take that information and we go out, you know, and spread that information somewhere else, you know. But because we got away from this overstanding of things, it seems so crazy and far-fetched. But now, like, I always bring up Osmosis Jones, like, we are like cells in the body. Like, that's why you need to break down your ego too. DMT trips also show you that, you know, it's way more to be holding yourself to be so high and mighty, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, again, like the trees are like the nervous system, and the fruit is like the, you know, the information that you're pulling from that neuron or that branch, you know, or that tree or that, you know, that actual nerve. And you taking that information and you're bringing that information with you throughout other parts of the body, you know what I'm saying? Because the earth is a living thing, it's a body. So you take that information, so say for instance too, and you see why, like, all right, with diets from certain areas, you know, if I'm in a place that has a lot of mangoes and bananas, I'm gonna kind of develop a certain type of, you know, characteristics of acting and being, you know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, for example, you know, if I'm in an area with a lot of bananas and mangoes and lemons and oranges, then, you know, that information is going to strengthen my solar plexus and my sacral chakra, you know. So the people in that area, you know what I'm saying, or the cells in that area is picking up on those type of, you know, on that type of information coming from the plants and the trees, or the nerves, you know what I'm saying? So that information that goes into the person comes from, you know, from the tree. So basically, like another example, you live somewhere where there's blueberries, plums, and currants, you know, then you're gonna develop and download the type of information that strengthens the pineal and the third eye, you know what I'm saying? And two, I move around, I go to an area where the people, you know what I'm saying, where the mangoes and bananas at, and I share my information and my knowledge with that area, you know what I'm saying? And that person could come to my area and share that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the immune system, you know, I take the good nutrients from this, you know, part of the body, and I come and share it with another part of the body, you know. But as above, so below. So the trees are like, you know, like nerves giving off information with its fruits. You know, and that's where you get the analogy or the symbolism of, you know, the tree of life and the knowledge and the tree of knowledge and Adam and Eve in the garden. Like, you know, that was a story of the Ida and the Pingala, you know, within the body. You know what I'm saying? And the nerves or the trees are basically like the nerves. You know, the nervous system branch out like trees, as above, so below. And even on another level, as above, so below. I'm gonna leave on that note. It's not way off subject, but like thinking about like how a tree is shaped, like with the branches. So I'm trying to think of a fruit. But basically fruits kind of correspond with not only the color that they are, but the shapes that they're in. Because I was trying to think of a fruit or something like grapes that's shaped like not only like tree branches, but also like alveoli and you know, within the lungs. So basically, by eating grapes is also strengthening, you know, because of the color is adding to the, you know, so say if you're eating purple grapes, you know, as a matter of fact, with seeds in them, it's going to add to the pineal gland, but it's also going to help the lungs out, you know what I'm saying? Because even the shape, as a matter of fact, all that correlate with each other, like the shape has that shape because, you know, how can I say, not mimicking the lung or vice versa, but, you know, they like correlated in that instance. But that's basically it. I just wanted to share that with y'all, you know, that next level of, you know, stop being scared of nature. That's the next level. Matter of fact, I just had my little episode with nature, man. Well, just killing that ego. You know, like really realizing how much we are just like this bodily vessel kind of in essence belong to the earth. And even though none of us really possess nothing, you know, this physical is not our true form, you know what I'm saying? And you really realize when you get in nature that you are a vessel that's just supposed to let energy move through you. That's why the animals seem like they, you know, like they don't think in essence, because they don't. Like everything is instant. They just let the energy flow through them, you know. And you start to see where your consciousness becomes a curse in that manner, because your ego thinks it's so smart, you know. Oh, I gotta put on some clothes, or I gotta, you know, I gotta think of how to do this, and I gotta think, and then the more you thinking, the less you could download information on how to naturally live and help yourself, you know. The more you start thinking, prescription pills is good for you other than fruits and vegetables that source put here for you to have to nourish yourself, you know. You gotta start realizing that it comes to a point where your comprehension is not making sense if you don't see how things that are always been here and always been around is more beneficial than the things that, you know, that are man-made, especially man-made by people in essence that aren't indigenous and don't have intentions of, you know, of keeping things natural and keeping things in balance on a natural level. So, you know, just get close to nature, man. Let go. But again, don't be afraid of the bugs or none of that. Matter of fact, your fear attracts them to you. You know, so if you're fearful of anything in essence, but you know, speaking on this level, you know, then it's gonna come at you on that level. If you meditating and you kind of like, oh man, I hope these flies don't mess with me. I'm fearful of this, you know what I'm saying? Which I had a talk with somebody about that earlier too. But like when you're fearful of these things, then it kind of comes to you in that manner, you know. Like, so the more you fear it, the more it's gonna come at you. You know, the less you fear it, the more you just embrace that, you know, hey, I'm a vessel, and whatever happens, happens, you know, instead of being worried and scared and manifesting it, you know. But peace. Happy now. And now is the vibrate. The rate at which we're vibing right now. Peace. peace. You know, some people say put the piece together. And matter of fact, off of perception, cause I wanted to make that joke. I'm like, you know, you got the piece, and some people say it's separate, but hey, this piece look like a gun to shoot something. So it's however you perceive that you should, you know, chunk up the deuce. But peace, deuces. Y'all have a blessed one.